just
unmute.
Well, good morning. Good morning. We're recording. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Thursday morning business chat. I'm your co-host this morning. We have several special guests today. And so what we're going to be talking about is the hard part of business is the soft part of business. What does that mean? Okay. So many of you know that I have a background in leadership development. And I used to stand in front of the room with a flip chart. Remember those things? And I'd have people, I know some of you are laughing. I used to use transparencies too. I go way back. So what we used to talk about is, what are some of the ideal qualities and characteristics of a leader? And many of you have heard me share this before. So I'm not going to go through the whole exercise right now, but it's just going to set a tone for where we're going today. Because on our director's call yesterday, we started talking about how do we support people getting where they want to go? And then we took a deeper look and we looked at our GROW model and we looked at all kinds of other resources and tools. And then we realized that what we wanted to do today, because we are in the relationship business and most people in our profession, not most, but a lot, end up as accidental leaders. And let's see, if you're not speaking,
if you could mute yourself.
Please mute your line. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Okay. So we used to talk about the hard part is the soft part. And in those characteristics and qualities of ideal leaders, we'd write a whole bunch of stuff on the board. Then we'd go back and assess, are these attitudes or skills? And it was very interesting what would end up, and realizing that the majority of things ended up being attitudes. And then we looked at it, are these hard skills or soft skills? And again, it was like, oh my gosh, it's the soft part. And in life, in business, the soft part is the people part. Many times is the hard part, because most of us have not been trained as psychologists, right? If you have, you can raise your hand, but most people haven't. And without that training, and realizing that our business is really a business about coaching, and you guys have heard me share my definition of coaching that I learned many years ago from the 16th century England definition of a stagecoach, which is the origin of the word coach, conveying a valued person from where they are to where they want to be. And that's our job. It's not about what we want for them, what we think they can do, what we know that they can do, where we want them to be. Where do they want to be? And staying in touch with people over time, things change. I started as a customer. I had no intention of building a business. Look what happened. So you just don't know, but building that relationship over time, you get to support people in making that change. So the soft part is really taking the time to really understand. And how do you do that? Well, all I get to do today is do the setup, because we are going to turn this call over to our master coaches and some of our other leaders that have volunteered to participate today in talking about coaching and talking about how to support people getting more of what they want. What are the key qualities and characteristics and skills we need to develop to support them? Did you want to say something?
No, I want you to say the Covey quote about people and management versus leadership.
Oh, I shared a quote yesterday, Stephen Covey quote. As you know, they come out of my mouth regularly. And, he was an expert in leadership. And a lot of people have never understood the distinction between management and leadership. And management is about things. It's managing, stuff. But leadership is about people. And as we're stepping in, whether you're an accidental leader or an intentional leader, these are qualities and skills to build those muscles and develop, so we can really do what we're here to do, is help other people get where they want to go. And so it's all about the people, and leadership is about people. And if people think, and I'll give a quick story and then I'll turn it over. Stephen Covey loves to share this story about his son, Sean. He had his long to-do list of, pick up the dry cleaning, wash the car, break up with Margaret, help mom out. It's like, oh, break up with Margaret was a to-do on his list. You can manage things, you can't manage people. You don't know how long it's going to take. You can't just check off break up with Margaret, it just doesn't work that way. So when we're dealing with people, we need to allot the time to be present, to be respectful, and to listen. And so what we have today are two master coaches and then several other leaders that are going to share their wisdom with you today. And I'm going to introduce our two master coaches. One of them is Coach Clarissa, and she has been a certified coach with none other than John Maxwell, that we've all fallen. Well, I don't know about you, but I've fallen in love with his work for network marketing. And if you haven't yet, I invite you to do that. And then we have Jennifer Starr, who is a master coach. She actually trains master coaches for, I think it's the International Coaching Federation, but she'll correct me if I'm wrong on that one. So we're going to start out with them, and then we're going to move into some of our other leaders. And so I'm going to start out and bring on Coach Clarissa, who's going to share some of her great wisdom from all of her years experience working with John and coaching. She's Coach Clarissa. That's who she is, Coach Clarissa. And I want to say, I got to spend time with Coach Clarissa and her husband, Jay, in Winnipeg, and we bonded big time. It is a joy to get to have you on and have you share your wisdom. So over to you, my dear.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Robin. It is always a pleasure, a joy, and a blessing to working with you and all of you. Good morning, everyone. Happy 10 a.m. morning from Winnipeg. And I love what you said and what you shared, Robin. I'm writing down like the Stephen Covey quote. Before I share about John Maxwell in a bit, I just want to share that I was an accidental leader. My confidence was like less than 1, maybe 0.5, because I'm a firstborn. I had to lead my family, but I was an accidental leader until in 1999, I was given a book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. When I read that book, I said, maybe I could lead. So when you hear John Maxwell talk, you feel you are so valued. And that's what Robin is discussing a while ago. It is the soft skills, and most of the time is the hardest one. So yesterday, if I may share, I shared a little bit what I've learned: connect before you direct. And this phrase, connect before direct, when I learned this, I feel like I am valuing people. So John Maxwell, when we heard the name John Maxwell, he is all about adding value to people. And I believe that is his master soft skills. And if I may read this a little bit from the book, The Leader's Greatest Return, this is one of the books that I am reading again. So if I may read this, he mentioned that leadership is always people business. And as a people, we have to develop our soft skills. Because without that soft skills, we don't feel that we are people. We're like human doing. We are not becoming a human being. But as a human being, we value ourselves by valuing other people. And to summarize, what I really, really love about what I am learning continuously from John Maxwell is, number one, adding value and meeting other people's needs. And that became my confidence builder. When we add value to people, we get the confidence because of we let them feel special. And when we let them feel special, we feel so special as well. So yeah, so as a human being, we could develop our leadership. And developing leadership, the first point is leading ourselves to lead other people. So thank you so much for letting me share. Back to you, Robin.
Mute. Thank you so much, Coach Clarissa. That was beautiful. And I think we have Coach Jennifer. If you'd like to pop on, Jennifer, we'd love to hear some insights from you, please.
Thank you, Clarissa. Oh my goodness. You know, the word that just pops out all morning for me is value. I loved when Robin quoted, the coach takes a valued passenger to where they want to go. And, you know, Clarissa, I was just wondering, have you read all those 90 books? I just bought the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. So I'm reviewing all that. These soft skills are an interesting thing because we can learn with our mind and we can learn with our heart. We can learn with our whole being by observing people. And Robin and Gregory are such beautiful leaders in the sense that they're modeling what John Maxwell shared at convention, which is one of the essentials is we have to grow ourselves. And so we're continually refining and learning and being willing to be vulnerable and say, you know, I really don't know that much about this. So for me, I come into LifeWave with soft skills because that's been my career for 20 some years. And yet the hard skills of doing a network business, you know, I've had to really grow in that department. And so what I've discovered is learning with the mind means a lot of study, reading books, going to classes, listening to podcasts. All of those things can be valuable. But until we actually put it to action and really try these soft skills on. So one of the things that adding value, Clarissa, that you were talking about and carrying that valued passenger to where they want to go is learning, first of all, how to value them, which sounds so elementary. But oftentimes we're so excited to share something with someone that we're coming in from a place of, I know what's best for them. And the curiosity and the willingness to ask questions. This is what Robin is so good at modeling also, is asking questions to understand who is this person? What do they value? What do they value? What do they want? What do they want in their health? What do they want in their life, in their, you know, so taking that time to value them enough to ask and listen to learn. And when they feel seen and heard, it's amazing how they open up and they share more and you learn more. And then they start asking questions because they want to learn more, but they want to learn more about what they want to learn, not what we want to teach them. So keeping that in mind, many of us are such good teachers and directors and leaders, and we know the business inside out, and we have all the tactical facts and know exactly where to send people to resources. But, you know, that old phrase, people don't care what you know until they know that you care, really comes to the forefront. So for us as coaches, and I know Clarissa and many people that are here today have been coaches for a long time, there's many levels of listening. And one level is listen so that I can figure out what to say next. That's kind of a first level listening that's all about me and my agenda of how I think I can help them. And the second level is listening for understanding and trusting that that person in front of you knows their life better than you do, and they know what they want better than you could. And so when we're listening for, then suddenly the third level of listening is we're listening with, we're having a conversation that's back and forth. And when we're listening with, there's a field that we share together. It's like our relational field, and we become connected and bonded. And then the trust really gets built. So that second, third level of listening builds trust instantly. And when there's trust, then their ears open up, then their curiosity opens up. And then they want to know, how did you get to where you got? Or how did you turn your health around? Or how did you, get to the point where you knew that LifeWave was the thing? Or all those questions they ask. Then there's a place to be the director, the teacher, the manager, the leader. So my 2 cents worth on listening to build trust. That's it. Thank you. Yeah.
That wasn't 2 cents. That was 25 cents. I just wanted to highlight that, because I learned about listening a long time ago, and it was a paradigm shift for me, because I think our human tendency and conditioning is to listen with the intention of responding. You're talking, I'm formulating my response while you're talking. It's almost like a robotic thing. I'm searching my database files. I'm searching my memory patterns. Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I cut you off because I don't need to hear anymore, because you got to hear my response, right? As opposed to listening with the intention of understanding. And that's a muscle, that's a skill, and that's a life skill. And that's, kind of comes out of our convention, heart to heart. When you're listening with your heart, and a friend of mine once said, you hear with your ears, you should listen with your heart. And you expanded it. You should listen with your whole being and really connect. So I love that third level of listening that you're talking about now. It's beyond understanding. It's into connection and trust.
And it's not just a skill, it's an attitude too. Because you can go to listening school and get an A+. Does it mean you're a good listener? No. You got to want to be a good listener. And that takes a time and effort. And then when you're learning something new, tell people that you love and care about, I'm wanting to be a better listener. I might be a little clumsy, but please know that my intention is to truly understand. And that's so disarming for people, and it just touches them so deeply, because that's what they want. That's where they get their psychological air. So thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Coach Clarissa.
Quick comment, just what you said, Robin, is remembering the equation that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and that's the ratio that it works best.
Most people use them in the wrong order.
Yeah.
And
to make an agreement with people that are important to you. And I have this with my sister. We have been best friends my whole life. We see the world really differently, but we have an agreement. If we're not feeling heard, we'll kind of make a funny little something, or we'll just straight out say, I don't feel like you heard me. I don't feel understood, and take full responsibility. But that's what creates quality relationships, is that level of honesty and connection and truly understanding where the other person is coming from. And it's work. It's work. And it's a whole lifetime of work. Right, Jennifer?
Thank you so much.
And if I may add too, and the reason why you, Robin and Gregory, touched our hearts when you led the panel at the convention, because you really connected. And then, as what John Maxwell said from his book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, the law of connection says, leaders touch the heart before they ask for a hand. And you touch our heart. I remember when you first connected with me, it's like you listen. So what do you need? How can I help you? What else can I do? So that is touching the heart, because I feel value, just like what Jennifer said. Listening, becoming a good listener is like, oh, I feel listened to. I feel like what I'm saying is valuable. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
guys. That was
Thanks, coaches.
They coaches. Are we lucky to have these brilliant
We are
women or
so
what?
blessed. We are so blessed.
And-
So the next coach I'd like to introduce you to, she's a certified health coach, and now she's become a certified senior presidential leadership coach. Connie Lucas, I'd like to invite you to join in and share some of your wisdom that's touching the hearts of so many people and building such a wonderful heart-centered team.
Thank you. Thank you. So what I'm going to share is for all of you that are like, oh, wow, this is tough. There is hope. There is hope for you. Anybody that knows me is that my nature is in the color code of red. I'm very direct. I'm very A to B. I'm very about getting things done. And without a doubt, I have always been more of a teller than a listener. And that's my nature. And so, as we always talk about, Robin talks about exercising the muscles. I too, the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, read decades ago. It's a fabulous book and one definitely to look at because there's so many little nuggets in there. But many years ago, one of my brand partners, who was my leader in another company, Ron and Barbara Fonts, gave me a book called The Art of Listening. And it is an art. It really truly is an art. And it's about patience. And for many of us who are very A to B, very move, very A-type personality, patience is not our virtue. And so you have to learn to be patient. I've worked my entire life. My children will tell you, my husband will tell you, I have had to work at patience. I have had to work at understanding. I've had to work at listening. All of those things are skills, and they are the soft skills of our business. So Janet Kiefer said something yesterday that she's not on, unfortunately, to share because her wisdom is so clear and she communicates so beautifully. But she talked about how we communicate these days. And gone is some of the face-to-face. Gone is some of the quality time that we take and spend with people to be able to have the patience to sit there and listen and understand. We move at a very fast pace. And one of those fast-paced things is texting. So you'll notice on the form that was created, how do we, the getting to know you form, one of the first things it asks is, what is your preferred method of communication? Because if their preferred method of communication is a phone call and you're texting them, you're not communicating the way they need to be communicated to. And you as the leader, you as the one that's trying to support them, need to communicate the way they communicate best. Now, text is wonderful for setting a meeting. It's wonderful for a quick answer. I had somebody ask me about a book today. I jumped on Amazon, took a screenshot, sent it over. Here's the book you want, right? Those are very good things for text messages. A quick follow-up, when can we connect? What time's best for you, this or this? Those are great things for text. Text is not good to dig in deeper. It's not good to have conversations that maybe are a little tenuous. It's not good to have a conversation that needs to go a little more in depth, where you need to really dig in and ask them those good, solid questions to hear where they're coming from and understand. And I've done it. I still do it. I'll have somebody text me and they're blowing up my phone about this, this, and that. And I react. I just react because I'm assuming the tone. I'm assuming how they're coming at me, and that may not be how they're coming at me all. So, when I get like that, my voice of reason called Barry will jump in and say, Connie, that's not necessarily what this person is saying. That's just how you're taking it, right? But that's what text message has done. I've seen more arguments, more problems, more difficulties in relationships between friends and family members and everybody else because they're using text to communicate things that should not be communicated by text. So patience is a really, really important skill to work on. I have really feel blessed that I have had many of my brand partners, now that I've worked on this for long, say, oh my gosh, you are so incredibly patient. And I just giggle, because if you told my family that, they would laugh hysterically. They would roll around on the floor laughing. So if I can do it, you can all do it. It completely changes your business when you start to develop these soft skills. And you go from, we are not a business of selling. We are a business of understanding and supporting people down the road that they want to get till their final result. So many of you have heard me say this. I'm not about selling a patch. I'm about helping somebody get their desired result. And I can't know what that is. It is not my job to decide that they're sick and they need my help, that they need money, so they need my help. My job is to find out what they want, and are they open to being supported to getting that? And if they did, what in their life would change because of that? Now you connect that piece into something that's important to them, that is actually something in their life that's going to change for the better. And you have somebody who's willing to walk down that with you. So I hope that's helpful. And again, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Oh, Connie, thank you for modeling so exquisitely doing the work. As you have done a tremendous amount of work on yourself. And the first step to making a change is awareness. And Connie was so aware of her natural wiring. But the difference, like I shared yesterday on our call, between man and animal is we have the power to choose how we're going to respond to that stimulus. And Connie's natural wiring is not what she's doing now. She has worked on herself and worked on these skills tremendously so that she can be more patient. And that distinction between texting and picking up the phone is like leadership and management. Use text for data and information, for things. But when it comes down to people, pick up the phone and get connected with the person. That was beautiful, Connie. You guys are awesome. Thank you. And the chat is very lively. I tell you, appreciate
Connie.
you. And I think we have one more contributor this morning. Carol Lee, are you available?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, what an honor to have been sponsored by Robin and Gregory. And they are, like everybody's been saying, they're such great examples to us. And to have Jennifer on my team, and then also to have met and connected with Coach Clarissa at this last convention. So I feel truly blessed. Just a couple of pointers. Mine will be really quick. When you're talking to someone, repeat back to them what I hear you saying is, and that way they can correct you or they know that they're being heard. Also, you can say, I know how you feel. I felt that way too. And then you can relate how you can relate to what they're saying. One thing I say a lot to people, especially prospects, is if they say it's not a good time or call me back later, I always say, I believe in perfect timing. So absolutely no problem. And that takes the pressure off of them and helps them to know I'm on their side. And then the last one is when you are texting, because there is a time for texting, as we talked about, use lots of emojis to try to communicate what you're saying. And another great thing is to use voice text, because then they can hear your voice. So that's it.
That was beautiful. And you said something really that I loved is when you're talking to someone or wanting to understand, let me reflect back to you to make sure I understand. And if you weren't clear, just saying, help me understand, because that word understand has a long, it has tremendous value. And you hear a lot of customer service people say, I understand. And there's something in us that gives like a big exhale when someone says that. But when you reflect it back and make sure, and if you can reflect back what they said, even more succinct than the way they said it, they really feel gotten, you shorten it and you tighten it up and you get it. And it's like, and amazing things happen. And I love the thing about doing a voice text and using
But keep them
emojis.
short.
Yeah, keep them
Oh my
short,
God.
please.
I've got some 2-3 minute voice.
Oh,
notes
and
that
even
go.
longer. It's like, oh my goodness. And keep your text short too. I mean,
Yeah.
I have some people that send long
Epistles.
paragraphs, so brevity is really valuable.
Yeah.
So thank you, Carol Lee. Thank you, Jennifer, Clarissa, and who was our other one? Connie. Yes, you
Yeah.
guys, beautiful, beautiful job. And I hope this was valuable for everyone this morning because this is the work, and John Maxwell said it beautifully, and we say it all the time. It is a personal development program with a compensation plan. And I warn people when they come into this business, whatever your growing edge is, it will show up in this business. I can almost promise that. And so if you do the work, the rewards show up in your business.
And I just want to share maybe a practical application for this wonderful soft-sided skills of listening, asking good questions. We have a couple of timelines in front of us, and one is 12/31. The end of the year is near. And then we also have February 4th, the end of the qualification period for Cancun is near. And so our encouragement is to use these soft skills to find out people on your team, how can you help them? Number one, where do they want to be the end of the year? And that's, just a touching base. And do they want to make an effort to secure their place in Cancun? And some will say yes, some will say no. And it's good for you to know who they are, work with the willing. I love that, the timing has to be perfect. And maybe the timing for them to go for that's not, but certainly everybody should have a goal where they want to be by the end of the year. And they might say, I just want to be able to stay where I am and help me understand, and some people say, well, I'm tired of hanging out at manager. I want to move to the next level. Then you can move into a planning session. Now you can start talking about things. So I think that just brings it to practical use. So I'd like to open it up. So any of our speakers, any of our coaches, if you have any final words, Clarissa, Jennifer, or Connie, I'd love you to share. And Carol Lee, if you'd like to share anything, now would be a good time to do that. And if not,
And I love what
We'll
Coach
call it
Clarissa said in the
complete.
chat. This is truly a thankful Thursday.
oh, I love that.
That's
Thankful
beautiful.
Thursday.
Thankful Thursday.
That's a great close.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for adding such value. If you want to unmute and say thank you, or have any comments, I think we're done.
Very
We're at the
good.
bottom of the hour.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Start-
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Everybody have a great day.
The recording.
It's
Thank
great
you.
call,
Thank you
very
all.
thankful.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.